3.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back to H&J Talk Sports, your favorite show about your favorite teams by fans like you.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm half your host, Joe Riggy, and my slightly better half, Harry Baxter. How you doing, Harry?
How's everybody today? How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited about this week. I'm excited about the Penguins.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Steelers, funnily enough. I'm not so excited about WVU anymore, but we're going to get to all that. And guess what? Today we got fan questions we're going to get to at the end of the show, so stick around. And we want more fan questions next week, so comment yours below or message us on Instagram. And we'll
send
see
them in. We love
what
it.
fans have to say. Yeah. But first, let's start today with the Penguins because it was the Penguins week. Last time I was pretty down on the Penguins, Harry. I talked about how their depth was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they swept Buffalo in spectacular fashion. The games were great, but you don't know how to feel about destroying Buffalo because they're really bad. I think they're on their 18th loss in a row right now.
Yeah, you felt good about them last week. No surprise there.
Yeah, Buffalo wasn't a surprise. What I did enjoy was Saturday night, they trounced the Islanders 6-3. And the Islanders are good and have one of the best defenses in the conference and in the league. And they made them look terrible.
Feeling optimistic again?
I like what I saw that night. And this is a Steelers team. Let's remind everybody. They're missing their entire second line. They're missing 2 out of 3 of their third line. And last week, I complained about their fourth line and how their depth was terrible. And Harry, I have to say this week, I take none of that back. Those players still suck, but there's hope. We've called up some new fourth liners to fill in the new injuries. And they're really good. Freddie Gaudreau, highlight reel assist, scored a goal the other night. If he keeps playing like this, I never want to see Jankowski in the lineup again. Freddie Gaudreau is my new fourth line center.
There you go. New guy in, played well.
Find the answers from within, which is always nice, right?
Makes it easier.
Another one, Redeems Zahorna, I think is how you say his name, scored his first goal on his first shot. A lot of times rookies come in and they're really hot the first few games and then they cool off. So we don't know how he's going to keep it up, but I like what I see so far. He's good. He's got size. He plays fast. He's really fast I think he's like 6'5" or something stupid like that. But man, with these two guys, the fourth line feels better.
It's been a while since they've put 6 goals on somebody, has it?
It has been.
It's
been low scoring this season. I mean, they've had a rough go of it. I think the last time before this, I don't know when they scored 6. They put up 5 against New York a couple times, 5 on Buffalo. I mean, they looked really good against the Islanders. Buffalo, you couldn't tell. They looked good, but it's Buffalo, so you don't know. You don't know if that's how good they really look. But they looked really good against the Islanders.
February 14th.
And I guess we didn't cover it because I think he got injured after our last show. Kapanen got injured. So that wiped out the remaining member of our second line. He's week to week. So that is bad. The injuries don't look good.
Rust played well against the Islanders.
Rust played really well. I think that's his first career hat trick. Rust is the most underrated winger in the NHL, I think. He never gets talked about. But he was on pace last year to be the Penguins' top goal scorer. The year before that, I think he was on pace to be 2 or 3. And this year, I think he's on pace to be the top goal scorer. That's pretty good. Going forward, big game against the Islanders tonight. You beat him the other night. It's going to be tough to beat him 2 games in a row. But you got to win this game. Huge game. And the last time you play the Islanders this season.
Boston again.
And then you got Boston again. Boston's been struggling lately too, but Boston is one of those teams, Boston and New Jersey. I feel like no matter the year, no matter how bad they could be, they always give Pittsburgh trouble.
Well, last time we played them, we split. What's going to happen this time?
Split it. I would call a split again. I think. Yeah. I would hate to lose those 2 games, but I could see a split in that series, which I wouldn't hate. I think the game against the Islanders tomorrow is more important. If we win that game and split Boston, it looks pretty good after that. But the most important thing is the Pens' fourth line in the depth. Freddie Gaudreau is the only person I want to see fourth line center when this team is healthy.
Got to get together. We have, about 5 weeks to the playoffs start? May 8th is the last game.
They did push the playoffs back 1 day because of COVID today. So we'll have to wait an extra day, but it's getting close. Trade deadline next month. I don't know what you're going to do. I think you could keep this team together.
Think they're ready as is?
I think a lot of times fans, it's exciting. You always want to trade. You always want your team to make the big trade. But I think sometimes that screws up chemistry. I think this team's pretty good. If you want to make a small depth move, it wouldn't hurt, but I wouldn't make anything big.
Yeah, I think when you trade a big piece, it definitely affects the chemistry.
Yeah.
Do more harm than good in the beginning.
It could, and we've seen
that.
Not just
close
from
to the end of the season. Yeah, probably not a good idea.
I would leave it alone. I think they're pretty good. Maybe get another depth piece, another big fourth line winger that can play and get some of these jabronis out of there. I don't know. But I like what I see going forward. It's been up and down. Last week I was very pessimistic with the injuries. The week before that, I was super pro Pens. I'm pro Pens again. I think they're really good. I'm excited to see them get healthy.
They beat the Islanders. They'll be tied 48 points.
That's why it's a huge game, and it's the last time you play the Islanders this season. So this is your chance to take a point away from them. And then if you can take one of those games against Boston, that'd be big. Pretty good. And then you got New York and New Jersey. New York's been playing good lately, but they've struggled against the Penguins all season. So I still feel good about that. Yeah. Flyers have been really bad lately, which is beautiful. And then Buffalo and New Jersey a lot. So April looks good for the Penguins, hopefully. Hopefully they can start getting some players back.
So final prediction for next week for the Pens, 3 games.
Next week, I definitely think they split Boston. Okay. I think the toughest game to call is that Islanders game.
They beat them?
I think they do beat the Islanders.
2-1.
You think they go 2-1 next week?
That's what you say. I can see
2-1. Yeah, split Boston, win the Islanders. Yeah, I'll go 2-1.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say 1-2.
1-2. It's tough. We'll see if they can keep this hot streak up. What I like is they've had a lot of rest between games, which helped when they were struggling last time. They got a few games off, and they've looked like a different team since that break. So, a few games off here this week. Could be good for them.
Got a lot of road games in a row after this time.
Yep. I'm going on the road, I think 6 or 7
Boston,
games here.
New York, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the road till the 15th of April.
Yep. Now, some more huge news this week. Huge news. Tyson Alualu, I hope I'm saying that right, who decided to sign with the Jaguars, is coming back to Pittsburgh.
Good. Welcome back.
That's a crazy story. Have you heard this story?
A little bit. I did hear a little bit about it.
Apparently, after he agreed to sign, the reason he didn't sign right away is because he got COVID. So he was stuck in Pittsburgh quarantining. And in that week he was stuck in Pittsburgh, he changed his mind because his teammates were calling him, and he decided to stay in Pittsburgh at a discount.
It's a good choice. Jacksonville's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
New coach. Got Trevor Lawrence. It could be a rough year.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's some crazy news, though. Going to Jacksonville, come back, and a big news for the Steelers, who have been super depleted on defense. So it's one less thing you got to find now.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Keep the line intact.
There you go. Keep the line intact. Hashtag Harry Baxter.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest news of the week. Some other big news before that. Chase Claypool got in a fight and kicked some dude in the head. Harry, you care about it?
It's a dangerous thing. There's a line, and I think when you're kicking people on the ground,
that's true. That's kind of grimy. It's grimy.
That's I mean, you're risking some serious damage to that person. So I don't know. Hopefully, it's not this is first time I've seen this type of stuff while he's been here. So hopefully, it's not a continuing problem.
That's the issue. Because personally, this incident, I think is being blown out of proportion to me. It's like, okay, he got in a fight. It's kind of grimy to kick a dude in the face when he's down. That's not how you want to fight Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
That's just, that's grimy shit. But the problem is, if this new attitude, we saw his personality emerge last year with Juju kind of. Not saying Juju would get in a bar fight, because Juju seems like the nicest guy ever, and all he wants to do is dance and TikTok. But I feel like Claypool kind of jumped on Juju's celebrity a little bit last year. And I hope this isn't kind of an ego thing that's going to grow this next season.
I hope not.
We've seen enough egos in Pittsburgh the past handful of years now.
No, you got to stay out of trouble. He won't last long if he's getting in trouble. So
you do. And I mean, if there's any reason to stay out of trouble, Chase, you have a lot of money. People will sue you to take that money, especially if you're kicking dudes in the head on camera.
Mm-hmm. You're going to make a lot more if you keep yourself out of trouble. So.
You are. Keep your money. Keep your money, Chase. We want to see it. We want to see you in Pittsburgh. We want to see you improve. So stop kicking dudes in the head. I didn't think the video was a big deal, but as long as he doesn't keep doing it and let his ego go, I think we'll be all right. So those are the two big newses for Steelers this week. Alualu and Chase getting in a fight. But let's talk some draft too. The draft is coming up, and I want to talk two players that have kind of emerged that a lot of people think could be on the Steelers draft board. Is a Landon Dickerson and Najee Harris. Harry, what do you think about those guys?
Najee Harris, I like. If he's there, he's a good pick. I mean, a first round pick for a running back's tough, but
yeah,
I could see him. He could be worth it. I remember, I think it was the playoff game where he just totally hurdled this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think was it Ohio State? It was, I don't know, but I mean, he is a crazy good athlete. So
he's fast.
He's a franchise running back.
I mean, he's slotting right around where Pittsburgh drafts. A lot of people are projecting him around there if he goes first round.
No, he's
I mean, it seems like the cards are in there because the Steelers need a running back. Art Rooney has said this week the Steelers will never be last in the league in running again.
Hey, I don't hate the move. Get him.
If I had to pick, that's what I would. I mean, I want to see him in Pittsburgh.
He's big time. I mean, first round pick for a running back, not a good decision in most cases, but I got to see what's available. You got to see what's available in time comes, but he could be worth it.
It's your biggest need, though. It definitely fills a need. And I don't think you want to take the pass him up and try to get him later, and then he goes early in the second round.
Yeah.
He might be your guy. Pittsburgh needs something. So.
True.
Najee Harris and Peterson as a backup next year. Or Le'Veon Bell. He's still out there.
Le'Veon Bell.
He's still out there. Landon Dickerson, another person on the Steelers draft chart that a lot of people are calling for Steelers.
He would be good.
We need a center. Okay. Another Bama guy. Do the Steelers go all Bama this draft?
Hey, they're well coached. I mean, it's not a bad decision. There's a lot of Bama players in the NFL. Oh.
Yeah. So let's look at our line then. So if we draft Landon Dickerson, Najee Harris, how are we looking up front?
I think that'd be good. We've got holes to fill with Pouncey gone and Villanueva, is he signed? He's coming back.
I think Villanueva is still out there, but a lot of people think the longer he's out there, he might be coming back.
So, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with having a good line. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. One
Steelers
thing
had-
people think the running game may have struggled with last year. I wouldn't take. I mean, it was definitely not our best line, but Connor wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a great lineman, big lineman, good lineman, around that point in the draft, grab him.
I'm all in
It's not
for
flashy. It's not a
Mhm.
high profile pick, but
It's a Steelers pick. Steelers don't like to go for flashy when they draft usually.
having a good line is worth a lot. Take him.
I like those two players. But this is a good opportunity for fan questions too. So if you're watching, comment below. Who would you want to see the Steelers draft? Who's in your first and second round pick for the Steelers this year? Maybe even who's your third round? What way do the Steelers go? I've seen some people calling Stills to the Steelers as well in a late round.
Could be. I don't know. I don't see it.
He's a Steelers type player.
Maybe late. Maybe late.
Late. I've seen some people calling 5th, 6th round.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Najee Harris, though. I feel like that's how the Steelers are going. They've been so quiet about it running. I mean, with Art Rooney saying the Steelers will never be last in rushing again, and then being so quiet about finding someone to fill that gap, it just seems like that's the way they're going to go. Unless they make a huge sign. But who's out there for running back for them to sign right now that would be?
You need a good running back. I mean, it'd be good to take some of that pressure off of Ben so he's not throwing 40 times a game.
That was a big thing last year. The Steelers became really easy to defend because they're not rushing.
Yeah, you need running back. You need those plays. You need to get yards from that play so you're not passing every single down. The team's
even if you don't have the best running back, just something to make the defense watch.
Yeah, gotta have
the defense
threat.
has to pay attention to you rushing, and they didn't have to last year.
Nope.
At all.
You gotta respect it.
Mm-hmm. With Ben too old to scramble, now you put Dwayne Haskins in there, and you get a new running back. That could be pretty dynamic.
Dwayne's not much of a runner, though. He's not much of a scrambler.
He's not a runner, but he can scramble. He's young. Ben can't do it anymore. Ben will break an ankle.
Ben, he can still
One
break
thing that made me nervous too, I want to point this out. I like Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's been a great franchise quarterback, but he's old. And I saw him say something the other day about he wants him and Juju to be together as Steelers for years. Ben, man, you brought us a Super Bowl, but I don't think you got years left. And you're making me nervous when you say shit like that. Year.
See how this year goes.
Year.
Maybe it was just a down year. Maybe he'll get back up.
We'll see how this year's goes. Yeah. I don't know. Get on that Tom Brady diet, I guess. Get some avocado smoothies going. All right. But before we get off Steelers, since we've been talking filling gaps, let's talk current players that we have that need to step up. Harry. So what I want from you, and I'll give my picks too. 2 Steelers who are going to improve next year. One who you're almost positive and sure will improve and step it up big next year. And one who needs to step up, but you're skeptical that they will. So do you want to lead this off or you want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right. So first, let's go a Steeler that is going to step up big next year.
I think Terrell Edmonds, safety. I think he's going to step up. I think him and Minka, they're pretty good tandem.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have a really good year. I think he could have Pro Bowl type year next year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I like him. He's a good player.
So you think he's trending in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, if he plays well, I mean, it could be dangerous. Minka's played out of his mind since he's been there.
He has. It would be big if Terrell. It's very interesting you picked Terrell Edmonds.
It'd be great. I'd like to see Terrell because Terrell Edmonds kind of same role as Palomalu, going in the box. He's fast. He's good. He's athletic.
Yeah.
He has all the tools. He just put it together. I think he can. I expect him to have a good year. My pick for someone that needs to step up, but I'm not sure if they will, is Juju. The pressure's on him again.
It is.
And I think he knows it. He's on a 1-year contract. He's got free agency coming. He's got to play well. He's going to be the man again. He's going to get the opportunities.
This is his year for sure. I mean, he either steps up and he gets paid next year, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's all up to him.
It's time.
It's time.
This will be the season 3 since Brown left. Time to show it's now or never.
It's now or never. So
and if
Harry
he doesn't
thinks
perform, I let him go. I love Juju, but
it's tough for him.
He can get paid more somewhere else.
He can, and that's the thing I wonder about these young guys and people like Juju. I don't want to say he doesn't care because I believe he does care. But for other guys, when you're on a contract a year, this is your career and your money. For guys like Juju, you're probably making more off Fortnite ads than you are. I mean, and on social media. He's set up, which is smart with him. And that's the thing, too, about Baker Mayfield. People make fun of him for all his ads. You hear the jokes during the season. He's got more commercials than he does wins, which is true and hilarious. But, I mean, he's setting himself up. If he sucks at quarterback next year and he trends down and he's not a quarterback in the league for 2 years, he's made a lot of commercial money.
Well, I mean, he's a good example. Look, the pressure was on him last year. People were starting to doubt him. They were saying, "Oh, maybe he should go. Maybe he's a bust."
They said that after the Steelers beat him this year.
After the Steelers smacked them, there was a lot of talk like that. You can't win big games. And what did they do? I mean, he played great after
that week. I think it was a week 4 or 5 the Steelers played them this year. It's funny because before that, all the talk in the league was the Browns. The Browns is finally their year. After that week when the Steelers smacked them, and anyone can go look at the YouTube clips. Every single sports show after that game for the rest of the week talked about how Baker Mayfield wasn't an NFL quarterback and how he couldn't make simple NFL reads, and the Steelers exposed it.
Played well. Let's see if he does it again next year.
He stepped up and he got better. So kudos.
Had a good rookie year. Had a rough sophomore year. Started off not super great. They lost to the Ravens. They lost to the Steelers. Played very well after that. Lost a close game to the Browns. Beat the crap out of the Steelers in the playoffs.
Yes.
A lot of that was self-inflicted, but they did.
Yes.
And, Juju, it's time. You played great your rookie year. You haven't done too well the last 2 years.
It's Juju's year. Money. All right. So now I guess now it's my turn. And it's funny you picked Terrell Edmonds. I'll get to that. But first, my Steeler, who I know will step up this year, who I'm positive is going to have a huge year, is Eric Ebron.
Yeah, he played well.
He played good. He got hurt. I think he only missed a game, maybe. I was looking. I thought he missed more than that, but it looks like he only missed a game. He caught the dropsies with the rest of the Steelers offense for whatever reason. It's like that spread around the entire crew. Everyone was dropping balls, including Eric Ebron. But before that, he was clutch. And I love his attitude. And I think he's like with Zach Banner. He hypes me up, man. He just feels like he's so psyched to be a Steeler. And he was psyched to come here last year. And I think this is going to be a huge year for Eric Ebron.
I think he enjoys it. I think he played for Indy and he played for Detroit. So he likes he played for the Dolphins.
Take much after that.
He likes being on a team, that has a chance.
Yeah.
We got to prove it. We haven't proved it lately, but
I think this is a big year. I think he steps up huge and makes a big deal with the offense, especially if you get that run threat and you got something else to distract defenders. Huge year for Eric Ebron. I'm calling that.
Yeah, he's got to play. He's got to play full season. He played 2 full seasons in his career, 2017 and 2018. So if he stays healthy, he played 15 games last year.
I thought he missed more than that, but yeah, I saw that too. He only missed 1 game. I thought he was out for 2 or 3, but yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He did catch a little bit of the drops.
The whole offense did. It was weird.
Everybody was. Yeah,
Everyone couldn't catch a ball for like 3 or 4 weeks.
He's good. He adds a good threat up the middle.
And now my pick for a Steeler who needs to step up, but I'm skeptical, is Terrell Edmonds. Harry's pick for who he thinks will step up. I agree with you. I think he's got the tools. We've seen it in spurts. I haven't seen any consistency from Terrell Edmonds so far in any of his years in Pittsburgh. 3 seasons now, full seasons. He missed 1 game this year. So pretty good playing full seasons. He's been up and down. There's some weeks where he comes up big and you really notice him. And then there's weeks in a row where you don't see him at all. And I think he's got the tools. But this, to me, is Terrell Edmonds' make or break year. We're going to find out if he's the guy this year or not. And I don't know that he is.
Hope.
We hope. I mean, like you said, if you get him and you get Minkah Fitzpatrick and they're both clicking, some of these losses in the backfield don't look as bad. Especially when you get Devin Bush back with those two. But
I hope he plays good. He's fast.
He's fast.
Speed with Bush. Whoa, it's dangerous.
We'll see. I'm skeptical on Terrell Edmonds.
It was a first-round pick. You got to live up to it.
This is his year to step up or step out.
Yep.
West Virginia. What's going on?
Well, they're affected by the same problem that's affecting a lot of people. The transfer portal stuff.
Transfer portal. What a lot of people have said, though, about the latest victim to the transfer portal, Tykee Smith, which is a huge loss. The timing of it looks very bad for West Virginia. You wait till the first day of spring practice to announce that you're transferring. That's not a good look.
It sucks. He was good. He was probably the best player on defense.
He was easily last year.
I mean, I'd say Stills or him.
Yeah. I mean, different players too. Stills more on the quarterback, of course. Tykee Smith, easily the best player in the backfield. Easily.
That one's going to be tough.
And that's the defense too. I mean, as up and down as West Virginia was last year, they have one of the best defenses in the Big 12. It was their offense was the reason they couldn't win.
Well,
but now
they lost 2 of their best players from last season. So
3, because you also had Drayshawn Miller, who left a couple weeks ago. They're starting cornerback. So now you're down a cornerback, you're down Tykee Smith, and you're down your best pass rusher. Those are like the 3 key positions on defense.
This stuff hurts West Virginia a lot more than it hurts some of these bigger schools because West Virginia's not very deep. You're not pulling in all these big-time recruits.
That's the thing, too. A lot of teams suffer from the transfer protocol. But if someone transfers from Bama to play somewhere else, you have 4- and 5-star people lining up.
I think Tykee Smith was he a 4-star recruit?
I think he was.
He was one of the few that we got.
And now, if you're a 4-star recruit, we've talked about the past couple of weeks, some of these people looking at West Virginia, and you see Tykee Smith leave, and you see Drayshawn Miller leave. It may sway your opinion to not come to West Virginia.
Well, West Virginia, I don't know. I have been kind of pessimistic on their season or their outlook.
It's not looking good. I mean, and last week I talked about how it was looking good because we did get some 4-star transfers, which is good. And we got some more players who are looking. Losing Tykee Smith is tough. I don't think you can replace that, especially with the timing.
Yeah, that one will hurt. And in a pass-happy conference like the Big 12, it's going to hurt really bad.
Really bad. So, not a good look. So, who steps up? Does anyone step up and fill that gap, or are we just down for a down year?
I mean, not necessarily. It's going to have to be somebody that, somebody new, somebody we haven't seen a lot of.
Maybe
players
we've talked about in previous weeks, not to mention any names, Jacoby. It's a gap for you to fill.
There's opportunities there.
There is opportunities.
But the season's going to be tough, and it's going to be tough quick. So there's not a lot of time to get things together because September is going to be a rough month.
There's a lot of time left. Well, not a lot of time. Spring training has started. There's some time to fill some gaps. But looking at the roster today, we don't have a better record than last year. I don't think West Virginia has a winning record this year. And they don't do better than last year. Which, as we talked about, I mean, defining year for Neil Brown. Trust the climb. You got to do something this year, Neil Brown. I don't know what you're going to do or pull out of your hat, but it's looking like a tough climb that you're trusting.
Yeah, he's gonna have to earn his money.
He is. Not much more we can say on that. Anything else you want to cover on West Virginia, Harry, before we move ahead?
The basketball team has lost a few players to the transfer portal too.
Yeah.
They lost Gabe McGabe. They lost Emmett Matthews. That one hurt. He was a good player. He was really athletic. He was long. And what started as being a really good year are very promising for next year. It's starting to go down.
I think you said it when we talked about them losing that game. And, it's not everyone comes back was the silver lining, and now everyone's not coming back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So there goes your silver lining.
Well, let's see. Transfer portal. Fun stuff.
Transfer portal.
Just when you think everything's good and you can look towards next year, start losing key players. And bad enough you can lose them to the pros when you have somebody really good. Now you're just going to lose.
The transfer portal reaches up inside you and it just yanks it out. And I won't tell you what it's reaching up.
We'll see. Come back August. Let's see what this team looks like. We'll get some practice in. We'll see who's going to step up.
I'm anxious.
Yeah, me too.
UFC 260 Saturday night. I missed it because I had a baby.
Congrats.
Like the second the match started, I was sitting down watching pay-per-view and then had to leave.
It was a good card.
It was a good card. Harry, you watched it. Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, I mean, it was quick. The last three fights.
A lot of knockouts.
Yeah, O'Malley won by knockout. Vicente Luque won by knockout, and Ngannou won by knockout. I mean, O'Malley looked good. He got back to his winning ways. I'd like to see him step up in competition and fight somebody ranked.
He's a beast. Yeah, it would be nice to see him back there.
His loss was a fluke. Well, I'd love to see them run that one back.
Yeah.
But at least fight somebody ranked, He's been fighting all these unranked guys. He looks good, but you got to test yourself. We got to see if he's the real deal or not, if it was a fluke or not.
100%.
Woodley looked run down. I mean,
Woodley has looked run down his last 4 fights. I didn't see this one. I'll trust you. He lost by submission in the first round. His last fight that I did see, he didn't even look like he was interested in being in the ring.
Well, he started off well. He started early, had the guy dazed. Went for the finish, gassed himself out. And then the other guy took control, turned it around.
That's been a big issue for Woodley. He gets winded a lot, and I think that's been a lot of his problems. Has he lost his last 4 now? At least 3.
He's lost, yeah. He lost to Usman, Burns, Covington, and now look at him. And I think he's done. I mean, he's an expensive contract. UFC's been getting rid of these. That's 4 losses in a row. He's not going to compete for the title.
And he's older now, isn't he? Like 36.
He is older.
Yeah.
Bellator. It might be where he's going.
It could be. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any place for him in the UFC now. Sad to say, because he was a beast when he was good. He hasn't looked like he's belonged in his last few fights in the ring.
No.
Which sucks to say for him, but
yeah, he dropped off fast.
He did.
Sometimes when you lose a big fight. I think the way he lost to Usman just broke him. I think.
Yeah.
He got dominated the whole fight, and he just hasn't been the same since.
It can do that for you. I mean, confidence is a big thing.
He was a championship level fighter. It's hard to get yourself going. I guess just hasn't been able to get to the same way.
Yeah.
And then the main event, it was a good one.
A lot of people pick Stipe.
It was a lot of.
I had some people pick him on Instagram.
Well, there were a lot of questions about what had changed
Ngannou
since the
is
last
a
fight.
beast, though.
Ngannou learned he stuffed the takedown and kept it standing. He even tried to get his own takedown. But when you stand with that guy, and if he connects, it's over.
He's a beast.
And he connected. That was it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he caught him, knocked him out. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Stipe comes back. I hope he comes back, but he'll probably take some time. But in a way, it's good for the heavyweight division because you'll get more fights without the layoff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we can get a huge fight with him and Jones.
What I'm saying is Jones next.
I would love
Show
to
me
see
the
it.
money.
But I think they got Derek Lewis that can fight if Jones wants to play this game about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jones is jumping at the bit to fight Ngannou.
Doesn't seem like it.
I think against anybody else, he felt like he had a really good chance. Stipe, it's just a size difference.
Mm-hmm.
Stipe, he's 230 something. I know Jones has put on weight, put on some muscle to fight heavyweight, and he's probably getting close to that. He might be in the 220, 230 walking around, but then you got this guy that's pretty much as big as you can be in heavyweight. When it's 265, he's 263, built like a truck.
I don't think Derek Lewis is a good matchup for him.
For Ngannou?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting. Last time they fought, it wasn't very good.
I think he's too slow.
Well, he's powerful.
He is powerful, but I think Ngannou, and he's been better lately too. Derek Lewis was someone that was headed up, and then he kind of had a few bad fights, but lately his past few, he's looked really good again.
Yeah.
So it could be a good fight. I just don't think he matches up well. But
Well, with those two, it's whoever gets caught.
Who's swinging? Yeah. Who catches?
He might lose. I don't know. That fight, I can't see that fight going very long this time. No? I think unless they're both very timid and they're keeping away.
I don't think they'll be timid. Derek Lewis, especially, is a timid guy.
Ngannou has started this. He's going to blitz you if he sees the opportunity.
Yeah,
because he knows all he got to do is connect with one of them. He can fire 10. If he hits you with one, you're out. And it's over.
Well, that might be where Derek Lewis has a chin. He can take a beating.
Jones would be interesting because of the reach.
Mm-hmm.
And Jones is a good wrestler. He's very strategic.
He's a very good wrestler. I think he matches up better. And he
has to take him
fast.
down.
He's fast.
The only way to beat him is to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that size difference, it's going to be hard holding down somebody that big.
I like Ngannou and he's a beast, but I never bet against John Jones.
Yeah, and his reach. Jones has a reach advantage, but it's not as significant as it is against almost everybody else.
Yeah.
Like John has a huge reach advantage over most people. One person he didn't was Gustafsson, and he struggled with him the first fight.
Yeah.
Gustafsson. And we'll see. I'm interested to see what happens. I think Ngannou can be a big star. Can make a lot of money. He wins these fights.
Derek Lewis could be next. I think I might be wrong on this. I thought I saw John Jones say Derek Lewis is next.
It'll be Lewis. Lewis or Jones will be next for Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
One of those two.
If he beats Derek Lewis, Jones can't duck him, I don't think, anymore. So
Jones will duck him. Jones just doesn't have to fight. He's
going
to say it's about the money, but he doesn't want any.
Yep. We'll see. We don't want to get too much into UFC 261. We'll talk about that when it gets a little closer.
Yep.
But that card is stacked. Stacked. Valentina. Of course, she's going to win. And then you got Zhang fighting Rose, who's looked pretty good in her last few fights after almost getting destroyed a last year when she got slammed on her face. And then Usman and Masvidal. Whew.
That will be good.
And this is big for Masvidal because he hasn't looked good in his past. I think his past 2 fights he lost right now. Is he down 2?
Masvidal?
Mm-hmm.
No, he just lost his last one.
Was it his last one?
He hasn't fought since Usman. But he's saying he needed a full camp to be better. I personally don't think nothing's going to change. He may get finished this time.
Mm-hmm. Usman's a beast too. Usman, I will never bet against.
Usman is a beast.
John Jones, Usman. I mean, these guys look indestructible. Usman's a guy that when he fights, he looks so technically. I mean, you see why he's a champion.
Well, there's only one person I know that can stay with him, and that's Covington. Everybody else he's going to mop the floor with.
He mopped the floor with Covington.
Huh?
He mopped the floor with Covington.
That was a close fight. He finished him, but it was a close fight until he finished.
It was close in the beginning, but I think I don't know. He's too technically good.
We'll see if Hamzat. He's got potential to be a good, tough contender, and he's supposedly coming back against Magny. We'll see.
I like that card. We'll see. We'll talk more about that when it gets closer. Before we go, we got a few fan questions on Instagram. And I think we've talked about these, but we'll cover them real quick again. The first question comes from, I'm not going to attempt to say that, but if you want to follow him, his Instagram handle will be up there. So you should go follow him because he asked this question and that's awesome. His question is, what do we expect from the Steelers next season? We look depleted. We need RBs ASAP. We just talked about that pretty much 100%. Najee Harris.
Yeah. The draft is going to be big.
You got to draft one. I don't see anyone out there. I mean, you got guys like Bell, Peterson, who could come and fill up a depth role. I still like both of them as veteran depth guys. I don't think anyone right now is going to be your number one RB.
I think if you don't get a running back, you're going to have the same problems you had at the end of last year.
You're going to get one. I'm telling you, that comment from Rooney will never be the last in rushing in the NFL again.
I don't think the Steelers are a playoff team.
Not right now. I mean, they're one and done in the playoffs, as most years.
They don't draft or sign or get somebody or.
They'll have somebody.
Nope.
I'm not taking Rooney's comments lightly. The Rooneys don't play like that. They're not someone to say something and then there'll be someone here. We'll see in the next few weeks. I think they draft big.
You think we're going to be a playoff team next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Ben is my wild card. I don't know if he can stand up. And Dwayne Haskins is the wild card. I think we got our wide receivers are going to step up next year. I think Deontay Johnson's going to have a big year. I think Chase Claypool is going to have a big year. I think Eric Ebron, I said Juju. We got some holes to fill on defense. If we get some guys to step up, QB's the wild card. We'll have a running back. I'm confident they're going to get somebody. Next question from the same guy. So go follow him. His Instagram's right here. He said, as for the Pens, goodbye, Jankowski. Gaudreau has exceeded expectations. Said it earlier, same thing. Jankowski has done nothing since being here. He started on the third line. He moved down to the fourth line. I think he has 1 goal all year, maybe 2. He's good defensively, I guess. He's not a liability. But Gaudreau, in addition to looking great on offensively, he's been great on the penalty kill the last few games. So you're not losing anything defensively and you're gaining offense. So I agree with you. Goodbye, Jankowski. I wouldn't mind never seeing you trade him for a depth piece. Trade him. Yeah. Gaudreau's the guy. Next question. Justin Lurch 1. Lurk. I don't know. Instagram right there. You should go follow him. He says Alualu signing. I think we both like it, right?
Yeah, that's good. Wow, we don't need any more holes.
He was good.
Defensive line is good. It's a strong point.
We have enough holes to fill on the line, offensive line, defensive line,
Good surprise.
running back. It's just one less piece you gotta worry about. So that'll do it. Hey, submit more questions next week. We want to answer them. Your comments, your questions. What do you think about the Steelers, West Virginia, the Penguins, excuse me, or the upcoming UFC fight, if you want to talk about that too. Go follow us on Twitter or Instagram, H&J Talk Sports, but more importantly, subscribe on YouTube, because a lot of you are following on Instagram and you're liking stuff, but I don't see you on YouTube, and that's why I want to see people. Get your ass over to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell. New shows every Monday, new videos all week. You can also listen on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, all that crap. Go subscribe, right, Harry?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment,
Join the movement.
Join the movement. The teams you love by the fans who love them. H&J Talk Sports. That's our show for today. We'll see you next Monday. Tune in all week for videos. Harry.
Week. Out.
See you next week.